And we are live. Welcome back to the Wanna Parlay podcast. I'm Lance Bell, and obviously there's no one else here, so it's just Lance Bell so far today. This show is brought to you by Wanna Parlay, home of the $2 parlay and the world's richest parlay, where every day people are turning $2 into $2,000. We just concluded another Wanna week. And we're just starting one up right now. Let's talk about the pick'ems. We got Mr. Crouch, 500, easy on the pick six. Another pick six winner, Dialed Picks, 450. Folks, if you haven't heard, this guy, Dialed Picks, is now a part of the $50,000 club. Yes, you heard that right. 50,000 big ones. So lock in. Get right, because it's possible. Dialed Picks has showed us that it's possible. We got the pick 5, VIP, $250. Good for you. Pick 4, we got BJ Carson. That's a funny name, and I could make a lot of jokes about that, but he won $375, and we'll just leave it at that. Pick 3, we got Juan H, 90. He came in, it looks like he won 500? I might have to double check that. And then the pick 2, Grant's Nod Grass wins 100. Let's go down to the Parlay Royale. Trev, 9415, goes home with $1,000 messing around on a Monday night. And he dropped a 6-leg beauty to achieve that. We got Brody, 0501, also goes home with $500 on a 4-leg parlay. Love to see that contest getting beat up by the Wanna Warriors. Good for you guys. Way to be great. The Parlay Royale is where you can win a lot of money every single night, and it's a beautiful thing when you do. We got the main event. B. Smith, 702318. He jumps out to an early lead with a 13.05 parlay. It's a stellar parlay from a stellar player. But it will not hold out and survive the Wanna week for that $2,000. There's no shot. So that's great news to everyone else, because that contest is still wide open, and it's the biggest weekly cash prize Wanna offers. So get up and get in there. There's no point not to. A little reminder, Little Joe's Hookie Pass is still being offered throughout the entire tournament. And yes, we're talking March Madness. Wanna Parlay is a co-sponsor on that, so if you find yourself in the area, get over to Little Joe's, and we're talking Chicago, where he's offering all sorts of fun promotions, prizes, and parlay opportunities. KG Legend. What's up, Lance? Dude, I think I lost every bet last night. Me too. The show did terrible, KG. It was just brutal stuff. It was brutal stuff. I actually went ahead and joined you guys and had to go get a drink because it was depressing stuff. It just was not good. Made me really stare at myself in the mirror and take a hard, long look. Come on, we got to be better than that. We've got a great show for you guys today. So far, I got no Tone and no Jack, only Lance. So it's the Lance show, folks. I'm just going to sit here and rip the accountability hour. I'm going to go through a couple headlines and then get some bets out there, and we'll probably call this one a quick one because some unexpected no-shows from my boys. It's tough stuff, but hey, this is what we do. This is why they pay me the big ones. Maybe it needs to be bigger or maybe it needs to be smaller. All right, let's fucking hop into it. Accountability time, accountability hour. This is how we always start these shows. I went 2-4 total. Not good at all. Lakers minus 4.5. No. Hold on. I will get to you on those Lakers, KG. Oh, there's Tone. There he is. This is our guy. And Tone will probably join me in talking about the Lakers and why we are not worried. All right, so we're right at that accountability hour. Tone, I'm hoping you have your sheet, and I hope you did a lot better than me and Jack, because we did pathetic. We were sad. This is just sad stuff to have to cover this. But Lakers minus 4.5. Everyone saw that. That didn't hit. Just sad stuff. Scotty Barnes over 30.5 PRA. He hit 31. So, one of my only wins was barely a win. So doesn't give me any confidence going forward. Alex Sarr, the rookie for Washington, Of the Wizards, of course, he had over 2.5 steals plus blocks. 1 steal, 3 blocks. Hey, he's an undersized center, so people attack the rim against him, and he actually gets these stats. Look out for these things. I'm telling you fucking pure facts right here. Jaylen Brown over 24.5 points and assists. He had 9 points and 0 assists. So Jaylen Brown, you're on the fucking ban list, and I can't believe you make $300 million fucking dollars playing basketball. Yeah, I'm upset about it. I'm gonna keep being upset about it. God damn it. Here's Jack. There he is. Welcome to the show, Jack. We're in accountability time, so don't turn the camera on just yet, because I wish I could turn mine off. We got Jason Tatum over 7.5 rebounds. He gets injured, undercut by fucking Sabonis. What a horrible person. No, he came out and apologized for it. He knew he was wrong. It's just a freak accident. Those things are tough. So prayers up to Jason Tatum, even though I hate the Celtics, but we don't wish injuries upon everyone because we are good people. It's just a sport. We're not evil, all right? So, you know, the injury did miss the rebounds by half a rebound. So it's just brutal stuff. Booker over, Devin Booker, you're a fraud. You're a clown. Get out of here. I don't even want to talk about you. But guess what, folks? It was a loss. It was a goddamn loss. Jack, I'm glad you're here. Go ahead and talk about your accountability hour.
You know, I just missed that intro. That intro means a lot to me. I feel like Ron Burgundy right now, where I'm like, you read my news? That's my news. So anyway, did you see the little comment in there about me and KG's bet when the bourbon gets here?
No, I didn't. I there was a lot there, and I was like, you know what? I know this is a personal message from Jack. I'm not going to try it. I'm just
one little note that I'll get to my accountability. So KG sent me out the nice little bottle of Little Joe's vodka. We've had some people try it, love it. Not the biggest vodka guy, so I'm not running out of that anytime soon. But he's taking care of me and sending out a little bourbon bottle. And I'm getting back to him. I'm like, dude, you're the man. And how do I ever pay you back on this one? I don't know how, but I'm going to. He goes, tell you what, you can promote it on the show. Next time you guys have accountability hour, for every one you get wrong, you do a shot. And so whenever that thing arrives, we're going to go ahead and do it. I don't know if it's going to be an 8-game, 10-game card that day, but I'm prepared to get absolutely hammered for the good of Little Joe's and whatever. And if I go 10-0, he's got to take the shot. So we'll flip the deck on him.
Dude, that's awesome. That's awesome. I just want you to know, thank God it's not here today.
Thank God. Yeah, today would have been a bad day. 1-5 for me. Maybe worst showing ever on this program, where I just flat didn't have a clue. Went wholesale Lakers minus 3.5. Didn't even cover that number. LeBron over 1.5 made threes. King was 0 for 3. LeBron over to 7.5 rebounds, only had 6. Luke only had 7 on his over 7.5 rebounds. And the Lakers of over 109.5, they only have 106. The whole thing's an absolute disaster. 0 for 5 in the Laker games. Thank God, get the Mavericks minus 2.5. Thank you, Anthony Davis, for your participation. But yeah, shitty night. Got to bounce back. Got to get right.
Tone, go ahead.
All right. Yeah. It's not my favorite percentage, but I went 50%. I went 50%. I had the Lakers minus 4.5, didn't hit. Had Denver minus 3.5, didn't hit. But then I had Dallas for the W and Dallas for the minus 3.5, which they cleared on both. Then over in my player props, I had LeBron over 22.5. He cleared. I had Franz Wagner for 0.5 threes. I think he made like 3. He cleared that. I had Doncic at 14.5 assists and rebounds, and he ended with 14. So, yeah, that was that one on that. Then I had Vucevic for 6 rebounds. He cleared. And then Gabe Vincent and Anthony Davis. I had Gabe Vincent at 4.5 points. Gabe ended with 4. Then I had Anthony Davis for 18.5, and he didn't do that. But yeah,
bunch of well set lines last night. Good Lord.
Just tough. Yeah, just brutal stuff across the board. I'm gonna be honest. Like the Laker game. You know what, Jack? I gotta do you better because you know I claim that I'm the NBA guy, and if you look at the Lakers on the road, they're just not that good because they just don't really care. They get lazy.
They've been exceptional at home. I really do think LeBron, as much as they claim to not do this, is always looking over the hedge, trying to play that game of where their seed is in the playoffs. And I really don't see the need to race out to number 2 and be sitting there waiting on the Warriors Nuggets guy. I think all you want to do is avoid drawing the Warriors or the Nuggets in the first round. You'd rather play OKC if you could help it, if you're the Lakers, in my mind. So I do think there's a little of that going on right now. I think we'd be slated to play the Timberwolves in the first round in that 4-5 game. That's the dream draw for me if you're the Lakers. So it's interesting. Got to pay more attention to that. And I will also say, in our past, when we've gone party wave and everyone's gone on the same bet, we've actually done pretty well. So I didn't want to call out any nervous energy. But KG jumped on it late. And all of a sudden, we had like 5 of us going all in on the Lakers last night. I was going to literally looked it up midway through the third quarter. Like, at what point did I know this was a bad bet? Probably somewhere around then I knew we were fucked. Or I was like, Vegas isn't just letting these idiots just walk in off the street and take them for a ride here.
Man, that's so awesome. Hey, but you know what? Next time there's a party bet, I'm not shying away. I'm never letting that.
That's not the lesson to be learned here. I agree.
But yeah, I mean, the seeding in the West, right now, actually, Jack, we lay in the Grizzlies, and I'd love that. Because the Grizzlies are solely just well coached, young legs, and they play hard every night. That's why they're the 4th seed or the 5th seed in the West. When it comes down to playoff series and the game slows down and your stars, don't get me wrong, John Morant's world class. He's unbelievable, but he ain't gonna go 7 games with LeBron James. Stop playing. That's ridiculous. You might be able to steal 1 or 2.
I will say though, for some of these other teams out there, it'll be interesting to see how it all shakes out. Like if Houston caught the Grizzlies early, on paper, it'd be Houston all day. Love what Coach Udoka's done all year. But I'm kind of staring down the barrel of John Morant's had something like 27 minutes a game, and he's played probably only 60% of the games. So all of a sudden, you get a John Morant that's playing 40 minutes and feeding you like prime jaw. I don't know. They could be a pesky little out. But
that's actually great.
I think the entire thing for the Lakers is do not have to play both Nuggets and Warriors. And delay that matchup as far as you can. If you can get it will be, I don't think they see a game 7 if they can avoid those 2 teams until the finals.
Well said, 100%. And I'm going to be honest, there's a couple teams that I'm like, I'd rather see the Rockets and Grizzlies before I ever saw, a team like the Clippers. Because then you get James Harden, Kawhi Leonard in a playoff series. Kawhi's playing 40 minutes a game. That call out that you just had, I'm like, that's also, there's a couple teams out there that are a little scary. Don't get me wrong. I'll always take the Lakers, but I'm like, hey, it gets a little dicey with some of these teams. Like they're legit.
So, and don't forget Ty Lue there as well. Because I think Ty Lue was kind of LeBron's boy when he takes over for David Blatt early in his career. And I think it took him a couple years because obviously he goes finals. But no one gave Ty Lue the credit for any of that. It was the LeBron, Kyrie, Kevin Love. And he was just the guy holding the clipboard. And now, since I think he's come over to Clippers, I actually think in a lot of spots, because they've been so unhealthy, a lot of spots when they've come in with kind of their weird teams that don't have a lot of expectations, they've really overachieved, especially in early series when they've been dogs. So I'm kind of with you, especially with Bogdanovich. We saw what he did in the Olympics in a clutch spot. He's a guy who can go steal a game, having a weird 29-point effort on 25 minutes. So, yeah. I'm kind of with you there. I think the Lakers are well positioned. Is my point.
Yeah.
I think everything they're doing. If we need to rattle off 10 games, we'll do it. Is my point.
No, 100%. That's why I'm like, I'm not worried. People are like already ready to jump ship with the Lakers. It's like, come on, guys, we're going on the road to Orlando. Who gives a fuck? Like, fuck Orlando. Like, not to be a hater, but I'm like, it's Orlando. Like, we're on the road. LeBron is just being. The Bulls exposed the Lakers. Like, KG, I know it was your NBA Finals. It was your Super Bowl. The Bulls haven't been anything since Derrick Rose, and when they were Derrick Rose, they still got fucking bitched by LeBron. I'm sorry. These are facts. I'm not trying to be mean, but Hey, Bulls won 8 out of 10. Watch out. Hey, I'm rooting for the Bulls. The Giddler and all the moves they made. And you hated on Billy Donovan. I'm like, wait, let's give him a little credit. They might have a future. Tone's giving the thumbs down. He said, I'm not having any of it. I mean, that's awesome. But hey, there are a team in the next 2 to 3 years. They might have more success. Right now, you can hang your hat on beating the Lakers. All right. let's go into the other topics. Let's bring out this. This is the one time, or one of the very, very few times we will mention women's sports on this podcast. But NCAA women's Juju Watkins tears her ACL, which is so brutal. That is just sad stuff, folks. You hate to see it. She's unbelievable. You could argue the best player in college right now, and probably not even that much of an argument. But USC ended up winning, and they got, Kansas State next. I don't know what that means. I don't think any of us know what that means. Like, who?
I'll tell you what it means.
Okay, Jack, Jack, go ahead.
Yeah. Well, no, it's the first time we're bringing it up because, quite frankly, it was the biggest headline in sports yesterday. It's the best player of their sport goes down with an ACL. Tragedy. I think USC had a really good shot to win it all this year. They got kind of a weird bracket position, got UConn in their region. So there was a big rematch coming up between Juju and Paige Beckers, the other kind of big-time player in women's college basketball right now. Unfortunately, USC has no shot without Juju, so that dream's just over. And we're losing out on what was going to be one of the best matchups and reason for tuning in on this deal. We're hitting the Sweet 16 now of the women's bracket. The first round of the women's bracket is unwatchable. Just because the upsets, there's no such thing as a 12-5. Like, I'm looking at Kansas State played Fairfield. The score was 85-41. And the other side, it was Tennessee, South Florida. It was 101-66. These games are unwatchable. But once you get down to this, the second weekend and on, we start getting great games. So, bummer. We're going to miss out on what would have been an awesome Elite Eight and Final Four. Interesting going forward. If you had money to put out here, it's going to be UConn versus South Carolina, and it's going to be South Carolina to take home another national championship in this man's eyes.
Wait, what about LSU? Doesn't LSU have someone little?
LSU had the Angel Reese. They got Flau'jae Johnson.
Yeah,
still
that's
there.
who I know.
Got Kim Mulkey is kind of a Hall of Famer head coach, but I think UConn's better than them. I think TCU would play them tough. They got that little Haley Van Lith girl who can kind of hoop. So I think it's not the LSU team with Angel Reese and everybody else. Flau'jae Johnson's a baller, but outside of her, it's not that many hoopers.
I see. It's you know what? I should give a little apology. That was a little disrespectful to women's sports because I know a lot of these names, and I'm like, hey, whoa, wait, I actually do know. Like, what am I talking about here? I actually know some of these names. I've paid a little attention, so. I'll pull back on my hater shit. I'm a little hungover, folks. I was fucking fired up about those goddamn bets that I lost. Like, but we'll move forward. Actually, Toad, you got anything about Juju Watkins or any of the women's?
Yeah, definitely, man. Juju, phenomenal. I've been watching her since high school, man. For Juju, she's a Kobe protege. She's been coming from very important cloth. She's been balling like a boy in all due respect since I've all known. I've been looking for her going to the league, so it's tragic to see that and that kind of injury. I tell you, I think it's a bug been going around though, man, with just athletes. Period. A lot of people been coming down with crazy injuries in this last week or two. It's been crazy. And what I wanted to say, man, shout out to Flau'jae. That's like my family. That's like my little sister or whatever. We got close connections and everything. So shout out to Flau'jae, the whole LSU. But Moki and Flau'jae almost out there on the island. So I kind of agree with what you guys was talking about, But yeah, Juju, man, I just pray that she comes back better than what she was.
Your buddies with Flau'jae Johnson? That's awesome.
Yeah, that's people's, man. That's people's. That's like close people's to Lil Boosie. I'm Lil Boosie's engineer, so it's a whole little.
There you go. Yeah. There you go. Okay.
That's
catching
awesome
up to speed every time, Tone. I learn something new about you. You come further and further. The coolest guy I know. You just create a further distance on the second guy. Might be Lantz. No.
That's so awesome. All right, well, moving forward because that was about all the ball knowledge I know in NCAA women's sports. Going in NBA. I already brought it up. Tatum ankle, just sad stuff. Sabonis. It's tough because it's like you'd think better, but it's also an NBA game going on, so it's just full speed. It's like I call it a freak accident.
It's an impossible deal because you're trying not to leave your feet on the closeout. So what do? You do that late shuffle and show up underneath. You got to work harder to just clear them on the side, but then those guys, you get pumped and run by or on the rebound. So it's just just that impossible spot. Don't think it wasn't a Zaza Pachulia situation where he's clearly trying to get
that one was evil. That one was fucking evil. That one looked intentional. Evil. I fucking hate Zaza Pachulia for the rest of my life.
And then I'll say this: you see that injury happen all the time, where you land and just tweak it coming down. So based on the replay, it didn't look so hyperextended that break or anything, or an X-ray was on the table. It looks like clear sprain. He looked like he was writhing in pain, though. So I don't know how significant this is going to be, because it's a guy who's done that in his life, I bet 30 times, who's landed on someone's foot. That looked like a guy who thought he shattered his ankle.
Man, he was curling up and swirling around where it just had.
Yeah,
we know we're not no Celtics fans around here, but we're fair basketball fans, and that one hurt. I was like, man, like, if I'm gonna play the Celtics, I want a healthy one, because I don't want to hear none of y'all bullshit excuses over there.
100%. That's funny. We jinx. But and with Tatum, I hope he can get like close to fully healthy, because one of these. They are deep, so they are going to be able to rest him. But one of these ankle things is like one of those that nags all the way till, and they're going to make a deep playoff run. So it could nag for a while, which is tough stuff. So once again, KG Little Joe's breaking Wanna Parlay news. Tonight at Little Joe's, I have a Hall of Famer coming in at 7 p.m. And I'm going to get him to take a picture holding the Wanna t-shirt. That's awesome stuff. Now, who's the Hall of Famer? That's the real question, because I'm very curious now, and we'll find out next. But let's keep moving forward with the show. Anthony Davis in his return, 12.6 rebounds, a steal, and a block. It seemed he was probably on minutes restriction. I didn't watch the game. I'm going to be honest. It's Nets Mavericks, but I assume he's on minutes restriction. He's probably going to get back, and that leads us into this topic. Who are going to be the last two spots in the West? Because the Kings have just lost 3 straight, and they're going to play the Thunder tonight, so it's probably going to be 4 straight. And, you got the Suns fighting. You got these Mavericks and the Kings all at that 9-10 seed.
Yeah, Kings a half game up on both of them, and then Mavs and Suns are tied at present. AD great last night. Did a lot of that AD shit on defense where he makes everybody else better around him kind of deal. So not super box scory, but they're going to be a tough out. And clearly they're trying to do that just for state of personal pride, which is nice to see in professional sports every now and again. So good for the Mavs. I feel like, honestly, the team I'm most confident in, the 3, and they're the worst of them on paper, is the Mavs. Because I think the Mavs are adults and pros, and I think they're going to get this done. I think there's weird issues in Sacramento and Phoenix. Different, but weird. Sacramento with the firing of the coach, the trading of De'Aaron Fox, kind of cobbling together the old Bulls team with some wrinkles. I don't see it. For some reason, Sacramento's got issues to me. And then the Suns, it still requires KD going. Like, KD's playing some of his best basketball right now. He went for 41 the other night, hits the big-time 3 down 2 with 20 seconds last night to get the lead there. So, like, to me, the team that seems like they're hanging on by a thread the least, oddly, is the Mavericks, now that Anthony Davis is back and healthy. I feel like they'll grind out all the wins they should. Whereas the Suns and Kings, they'll keep getting beat up randomly by KG's Bulls and the rest of the NBA freak shows.
Yeah, I 100% agree. And if I had to pick a team that's going to be out, I'd go Kings. I'd say the Kings are the team that's going to miss the playoffs and not get in the play-in, because, they were 500 when they did the firing and all the trades and all the weird stuff, and they've kind of just held on for dear life, and they're like right under 500. And I'm like, the Suns, I'm going to always give my nod to talent. I'm like, they're going to make it. They're going to, like, Booker, Kevin Durant for me is like damn near a top 10 player of all time. So I'm like, Kevin Durant's going to, I think they're going to make it. And the Mavericks, dude, they got a lot of pieces. Like this GM, even though he's made, the Luka boneheaded move, we all think, but I mean, he's got some pieces over there and some role players that'll at least help him make the play-in, I think, personally.
So worth mentioning, I just peeked the games tonight, was looking at the standings and everything else. Mavericks and Kings both play tonight. Kings are going to lose their game against the Thunder almost certainly. They'll come back a game and be tied with the Suns, or a half game and be tied with the Suns. And then the Mavs are going to go probably a half game behind both of them. They have a back-to-back tonight against the Knicks. They're going to sit Anthony Davis down, not go back-to-back on his debut back. And it looks like P.J. Washington and a bunch of other people are getting shut down too. So by the end of tonight, what you're going to be looking at is one game separating the three of those teams. The Suns and Kings tied, and the Mavs a half game behind them.
Okay, so we'll see. How about the Quentin Grimes kid that's hooping for the 76ers? That the Mavericks traded for Martin.
Good draft pick. Great college player. I dig it.
And it's brutal stuff for the Mavs GM, because I'm like, how did you give this up for a Martin twin? Like,
yeah, it unfortunately that's one of those situations though too, where it's like a little bit like D'Angelo Russell, where it's like if you're willing to be in games that aren't very close and let this guy have the ball and go be a hooper, like all of a sudden like Cam Thomas for the Nets became a guy, like Cole Anthony for the Magic became a guy for a little bit when Franz and Paolo went down, where it's like some of these great scoring ones, when they don't have to kind of run the offense, then they get to go be scorers. I think you can kind of get fooled on them. Not to say they're not great, but they're not necessarily like, a piece like that you get fooled. Some Blazers throw them a contract they don't deserve. You know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying. Like kind of inflated stats. Like, this is what I thought about Kyle Kuzma early on the Lakers. Like, he's dropping 30, but he's taking 30 shots. So it's like, what are we talking about here? Like, he's a good role player. And honestly, you're right. I should pull that back because the trade happened when the team was healthy. So they were looking for, they just needed a piece. They needed a better wing defender. So that's why they made the move. And, Quentin Grimes is on that Sixers shambles and just hucking up shots. Hey, he's hooping though. But yeah, you're right. All right, let's move forward. Let's go NFL. Titans schedule, private work. Oh, what was that, Jack?
It was just a real quick one. Just because we had this exact conversation yesterday. I just wanted to poke in on, since that pro day from Cam Ward, the Titans this morning scheduled a private workout with Cam Ward. To me, and the murmurs I've been catching watching some of the sports media stuff all day, is it feels like obviously Cam Ward's still locked to go number one, but now a 50-50 proposition will be the Titans, because the Titans continue to make calls and almost raise the asking price on what it's going to take to get Cam Ward. So to me, I mean, there's no reason to do a lot of posturing as the number one team. But if you wanted Cam Ward, you've seen him, you like him, you've done your homework, you've done the meetings. What's the extra workout going to show you? To me, this is just keeping on everyone's eyes on like, no, we like him, but delaying the process. So as it stands today, if I could bet money on it, I think this guy's a giant. I think the Giants trade up and go get him.
Wow, that would be damn good. I like that call because it makes sense. I mean, why would you? What even is this headline other than, to raise the price for the trade? It seems like the Titans are going to trade, which is bizarre because I'm like, who's their quarterback?
And I'm on Tone's got me full sale on Shador is going to be a Raider.
He's going.
Yeah.
They drafted Geno. That's the perfect guy to kind of be the guy on top of him. You're not paying Geno a ton of money. You can live with that for 2 years while you get it organized and let Tom Brady bring the pieces in and get you right. Pete Carroll's your culture builder in the meantime. There's a lot that makes sense over there.
Man.
I think Geno backs up Shador, though.
Well,
I'd say early it would be Geno first. Bridge him.
I think it would be a little like you're dealing with Atlanta this year, where it's like we want to kind of develop them and then wait and see. Now, I know, yesterday you made a big claim on Shador, so I'll let it eat. We'll wait and see. I've come with you 75% of the way on your prediction. Just let's agree we're on the same side.
That's awesome stuff. All right. And last headline we got real quick. NCAA, talking about NCAA football. Stanford fires head coach Troy Taylor. This is a quote saying Taylor had a significant blind spot on how his direct communication was received by Cardinal staffers, including a culture that was quote, not welcoming to women, end quote. So it sounds like Troy Taylor was just fucking out there barking and didn't really hold his words back and was, not the greatest guy politically. But I also think he was probably, probably a little overdone, and it's Stanford politics, and they're pretty fucking liberal and soft over there. So those are my thoughts, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm.
Yeah, I've had mixed reviews on Troy Taylor. I've met him once and thought he was a good guy. I've had other people say the same, but I've also heard a bunch of people say he's kind of an asshole and difficult to work with. I'll say this: I've worked in college football. I've worked on 5 different staffs. It operates like the military, or at least pretends to. It's not nearly as respectable, and we're not fighting nearly the same fucking war, but it wants to operate like the military. And there is just a complete disregard for feelings. We don't have time for them. So this is the softest, most hilarious thing to ever come out. Andrew Luck appears to be tanking this program to me. Stanford now creates a individual 30-day portal window for their players to get up and leave, which if I'm a Stanford starter, all of a sudden you get to leverage the rest of the country. Everyone else is just starting spring football right now. If I'm a starting corner, a starting offensive tackle, a starting edge right now for Stanford, I can go find $1 million in the transfer portal. I'm going to go ahead and take it. This is shades of the very different from a controversy standpoint to what happened at Northwestern 3 years ago. They ended up shocking the world and going 8-5 this year. Stanford, who's in year 2 of the ACC and has to take the long trip every away game they play in conference. I see this disaster coming for Stanford. I think 5 starters are getting in the transfer portal. I don't know who they'll bring in. Possibly one of Andrew Luck's former NFL guys, like a Chuck Pagano, just to come run a 1-year ship, pay him a ton of money, and then try to hire the new guy. But this is a bummer for a Stanford program that had a 9-year run-ish, Harbaugh, and then the front half of David Shaw's career there. Basically, Andrew Luck to Kevin Hogan. Those were good fucking Stanford teams competing for Rose Bowls and national championships every year. So tragedy, bummer. Andrew Luck, I got questions about you, pal. I'll sort through that.
Tony, any thoughts?
I agree with exactly what both of y'all guys said, but I just want to know, you said, Lance, that it has something to do with something towards the women. I just want to know the further detail. I got to read deep in the story. I want to see exactly what was going on over there.
I'm sure it's way more than it's being like. It's always a little bit sugar coated for both sides, right? They're getting to the facts and not trying to go like down the salacious story. It's nothing sexual up front, based on what I've read so far. It's just a complete disregard for feelings, and like all the quotes I've read was like, he could go from calm to irate in a second over like tiny things. And I think the main woman in question was a compliance officer. And compliance, to quote The Office from where Michael's talking about Toby, where he goes, well, Toby's HR, so he's corporate. He's really not a part of this family. Compliance is NCAA. They're not a part of your family there. So they're the ones constantly being like, hey, coach, you're at your practice limit on hours. You can't restart practice. Like, I'm going to turn you in, this kind of shit. So they're naturally always going to be at odds. The blue blood programs, they're always in lockstep, and most of the time are willing to cover some shit up for you on behalf of, as it pertains to the NCAA. At programs like a Stanford, like a UCLA, high academic institutions, a lot of the times these people are already set up to butt heads. So it's just one of those things. It's a 2024, a little bit of a woke response to how football's been being run since the beginning of time. And that is, people are mean and they scream at each other. Just the way they operate. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. We need a man judge, a man jury, and everything will be solved.
I mean, like, come on, this is football, goddammit. Like, we're fucking barking at each other. It's a mean, physical, violent sport. I'm done with this shit. So I think the rest of the country is as well. So let's move on.
Female ops lady at Charlotte. We had a female gal working for us at Montana. Female equipment at SMU. All were dogs. All were down. All fucking.
They understood.
Warriors,
they understood where they are. This is football, and just like in the military. I mean, trust me, those guys weren't nice. They weren't nice to the way. Like, there wasn't any special treatment. It was like,
you know what? It doesn't save lives, Lance. It doesn't save lives.
Man,
you want to get killed?
Yeah,
It could be nicer.
exactly. So All right, let's move on. Let's move forward. Hey, you know,
Yeah,
hopefully
hey,
you
boys,
guys
if I
don't report me to WANA. I just became calm and irate in a fucking quick second over that topic. So, you know.
Females, please do not report Lance. This is just the thing of the males. Don't be warned.
That's awesome stuff. All right, so let's just hop into tonight's picks. Let's rattle them off. Let's call it a day. Let's get it done.
Great.
I'm going to start with
Great time.
tonight's picks. I got Steph Curry over 31.5 PRA, Wiggins over 28.5 PRA, and Draymond Green over 2.5 steals and blocks. Now, why I have these specifically, Steph Curry, I have a funny feeling that even though it's supposed to look like Jimmy Butler's revenge game, because they're playing the Miami Heat, it's supposed to look like a Jimmy Butler revenge game. Well, this is when Steph Curry just gets hot, and he starts raining threes. So he might even cover over 31.5 points. But I like, he gets assists, he gets rebounds. I like that number. Wiggins, this is his return, to playing against his former team that traded. So I have him going over 28.5 PRA. He gets a lot of shots and a lot of minutes, and he's kind of in this offense. He's legit. So I like him to get those numbers. And then Draymond Green, he's going to be a dog. This is going to be a little bit of a battle, and it's going to be a grindy one. So I like his over 2.5 steals and blocks. Next, I got Rockets minus 7.5. They're playing. Let me double check.
Hawks.
Yeah, East Coast team. This is my theory. West versus East. They kind of just dog walk them. So I'm taking the Rockets over the Hawks. Now I'm a little worried because a lot of the Rockets is their defensive ability and how good they are in defense. And Trae Young's a little unguardable. So it's if his team's hitting shots, they can compete with anyone. So that's not my most confident pay. I mean, yesterday's got me fucked up, gentlemen. It was a tough day yesterday. I got SGA over 32.5 points. I think he just dominates these Kings. And then I got DeRozan actually over 8.5 rebounds plus assists. Really random, but he's been showing that he's kind of a playmaker more than Sabonis was when Mike Brown was the coach. So, he's getting assists, he's getting rebounds. I like over 8.5. All right, Jack, go ahead.
It's all NBA for me tonight, so trying my best to just ease my way back into that calendar now that we've gotten off college basketball here for a couple days. Taking 3 unders. Mavericks, Knicks under 224.5. We're playing with a lot of heart right now in Dallas, but we're shutting down a lot of the starters, and the Knicks offense has gotten super sleepy. I think they're playing that because they expect a one-sided game, but I think this pesky Mavericks team kind of keeps it around for at least the first half, and the number stays low. Then I'm going under in Cavs Trailblazers. Expect the game to just be more competitive because they're playing it in Oregon tonight. Big trip for the Cavs, West versus East. Tough place to play. And it's a Trailblazers team that's now firmly out of it, but still kind of salvaging what's been their best season in a little while, since certainly at least Dame has left. So do I get my and then Hawks Rockets. I just anticipate a good game here. I think the Rockets play through their defense. Slow the Hawks down. The whole pace kind of gets brought down to half court pace, 235.5 to 10. So 3 unders, Mavs, Knicks, Hawks, Rockets, and Cavs, Blazers.
I like it. Tone, go ahead.
I like it too, Jack, and I like it, Lance.
Jack's
so
on.
What I have, what I have on the money lines and spread side, till Jack comes back, I got Orlando starting at the top. Orlando with a W. Orlando for minus 5.5. Pistons for a W. Pistons minus 10.5. I'm on both. Over to the hockey. Tampa Bay Lightning, W. Chattanooga over in college, W. Illinois State, KG, this is for you, W. Maple Leafs, W. That's over in NHL right there. Maple Leafs, W. Now back to the NBA. Warriors, W. Knicks, W. Rockets, W. Back to the hockey. Winnipeg, they are going to make up for the loss they gave me the other night. W tonight for Winnipeg. Back to NBA, Jazz, W. Jazz plus 10.5. That means if the Jazz lose, 10 points. So Jazz W and Jazz 10.5 plus 10.5 if you want to be safe. Avalanche W over in hockey. OKC back in NBA, W. Now over to my player props. Steph Curry, 24.5 points over. Tyler Hero, 22.5 points over. Mikal Bridges, 18.5 points over. Cat under 28.5 points. Klay Thompson under 15.5 points. Trey Young, 24.5 points over. Alfred Singen, 19.5 points over. Desmond Bain, 21.5 points over. And last but not least, Walker Kessler on the rebounds for 11.5, taping for the over.
Well, goddamn. Wait, so who are the Jazz playing? Hold on, you got me thinking you're a guru over here on this one. Who are the Jazz playing? They got the Grizzlies. They got the Grizzlies at home. Dude, I like that bet.
They got the Grizz at home with no Ja.
Yeah, no, that's why I'm like, I like that. I mean, Salt Lake City, it's, they'll walk in sleepy and, Jazz will fucking bite them in the ass. I like it. Well, that's good stuff from us over here at the show. And Jack's not here and he's busy, so it sounds like I'm doing the outro. This was the Wanna Parlay podcast, home of everything Wanna Parlay. The proud father of the $2 parlay and the world's richest parlay, where every day people are turning $2 into $2,000. Today was a great show. Thanks to me, Tone, and Jack. No one else wanted to come on. No guests. No one wanted to show love. We'll be back at the same time Thursday, 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific, celebrating more Wanna winners, updating you on the latest Wanna leaderboards, and talking all things sports. The VIP contest is still open. Winner gets an all-expenses paid trip to San Antonio for the men's basketball national championship. Go live it up on the river walk and on Wanna's dime and see what promises to be an epic conclusion to the 2024-2025 season. That's all I got, and that's all. And you see your parlay site. That's beautiful shirt. I mean, it's great stuff. That's all there is, folks. Thanks, KG, for showing out in the chat and everyone else for tuning in. It's been a great podcast, and we will see you Thursday. Adios. See ya.